Hello guys, today is Yoimiya's release, and how is she? Because all been waiting to see if she is really as bad as people think she is. The answer is no, she's not trash. She's actually pretty decent. She's not strong by any chance. I don't think she's definitely not Ganyu Hutao level. Let's just say that. She's maybe not Xiao level. She's around Chao Kating level in terms of this damage. Her single target though can compare to one of the higher carries. So let's talk about her. She is a normal attack carry, obviously. Couldn't tell from a kid. Her E infuses some autos to pyro, to fireworks. They do not do AoE. Do note that they are all single target. A charge attack is enhanced into this triple homing missiles. You don't really want to use it though because it is not worth it. Let's just say that it is not like gun use where it's sped up. It is the same amount of charge, but you have to hold it even longer for homing missiles that don't even really do that much damage. But yeah, they're fun. But I wish this was a bit better, but it didn't fit a kit anyways. It's just cool fireworks. But anyways, yeah, she out is a dot that she applies on teammates, and then it is not that great. I don't think her out is her best part either, because it doesn't apply pyro properly. That's one. It's mostly there for damage, because it takes every 2 seconds you do damage that is not from her on the marked enemy, but it only applies pyro every few other seconds, so it's not every 2 seconds it applies pyro. And then afterwards, yeah, wait, is there any more? I think that's it for Yoimiya. That's a kit, but now let's talk about her teams. Okay, you kind of want to use Overload. Why Overload? Because she is ranged. It's the same reasoning for Overload on Yanfei. Because she has insane range, she can play Overload, knocking back enemies. She doesn't care. She can still hit them. And secondly, Yoimiya cannot vape properly with Xingqiu. That is a issue. But what I mean by vape properly is that when you vaporize, there's an internal cooldown, and during that cooldown you can't vaporize again. But then you're using Yoimiya's autos and Xingqiu's swords during that time period, and they don't gain vape bonus. So you're kind of wasting your Xingqiu sword in a way. You're only about vaporizing 30% of the time. And so why not just use your Xingqiu on your other team? Because everyone else uses Xingqiu as well. You can use it on Hu Tao, you can use it on Ganyu, heck, you can use it on Xiao. But yeah, what Yoimiya lets you do is actually freeze up a spot for Xingqiu for your other team, and she runs Overload instead. So if you run Overload, you can run 4-piece Thundering Fury, which is my planned artifact set for her since the beginning. Ever since I heard that she won't be vaping properly. And I've been pre-farming for it. As you can see, they are pretty decent. Some of them are pretty good. But I wouldn't say they're the best. You can definitely roll better. And here's my Yoimiya A6. Talons 986. I don't think her out. I would level her out eventually, but not now. It's okay. It's like doing 11k on crits. Her E and normals are definitely the priority. Normals I think should scale better, similar to Xiao and his Q. You level up the normals over the Q. But eventually you want to talent 9 both of these if you're playing Yoimiya. And she does a lot of damage. With a Rust, R1 Rust, her 5th normal attack, which is the last one, Big Shot, it does like 17,000 to 18,000 just raw damage on crit. And do note, I don't have a lot of crit. This is a Rust. think I just have a lot of attack, so there's that. But that's what you get with Rust in general. So Thundering Fury allows you to lower the cooldown of your E, as well as Overload. Because you're gonna constantly proc Overload, you're gonna decrease your E skill by a lot. So your E skill has a downtime of 8 seconds because it's up for 10 seconds, but the cooldown is 18. But what you don't really want to stay for the full 10 seconds on Yoimiya, because one, she's very squishy. Don't really if you don't have a Zhongli or you have a shielder, you're gonna, if you can't dodge, you're gonna take a lot of damage. You're gonna die very fast, and you're gonna miss out a lot of hits from dodging too much. So you're kind of wasting her E. So what Thundering Fury lets you do is lets you comfortably get your E back fast when you swap out characters, and yeah, it just takes advantage of the fact that you're playing Overload. So Overload obviously means you have to run Fisher or Beidou. I think you do run her with Raiden in the future. I think Raiden will definitely have a spot in this team. And then what else? Yeah, speaking of squishy, her team comms, you kind of want a Zhongli. I tried Bennett, but Bennett for this Abyss is kind of rough because you know your Yoimiya is still not protected, and for this Abyss it is pretty hard to not get hit, to say the least. So you can definitely run Bennett. The Pyro Resonance is nice, and Bennett's out helps the fact that you have average damage, quote unquote, and so her teams are very good Singulars if you think about it. My Fischl and Beidou isn't that built either, which is unfortunate because this team actually done pretty well in the non-electro resistant floors, because floor 12 has a lot of electro resistant mobs and floors. So in general, you will feel Yoimiya isn't great in floor 12, but when she's on the chambers that don't have electro resistant enemies, it's pretty good. As you can see, Beidou's just high crit rate. Fischl is like this. She doesn't even have a 90 weapon, but I think Yoimiya is pretty good with this team. Fischl and Beidou together. 4th slot, yeah, you could. I haven't tried running a Nemo character as 4th slot. I could run Jean, but I feel like it's gonna be a nightmare to use Viridescent Veneria, because you know you have Pyro. Your only Pyro application is from normal attacks, which will trigger Electro. So yeah, you don't really want to use a Nemo. So I can show a bit of gameplay of what it's like to use Yoimiya. Is very fun. I wouldn't say she's the most mechanically intense. Just kinda use your autos, but it's all about the surviving mechanic. She's similar to Ganyu, where you wanna be on field, but it's dangerous for you to be on field. And where your plan is your game plan is simple, right? Ganyu, just charge attack, get the melt. For Yoimiya, just auto attack, proc the overload, get out. Maybe use your ult. So as you can see, this is already an electro resistant floor. I didn't even bother to stack Beidou's Serpent Spine this time. As you can see, she melts them pretty fast. And then you see my ult is almost back. My ult's already back. Just rotate out, get back my energy, swap, go Yoimiya, continue. It doesn't feel like you have downtime at all with Thundering Fury. As you can see, the damage is pretty good. Of course, you can run other artifact sets. I'll tell you guys what artifact sets you guys can run after this. But like look at that, she's doing quite a lot of damage, even though they're electro resistant. So Beidou and Fischl aren't doing too much damage. My E is back. Just rotate out. Can't get my energy. Oops. Smelt. See, she's squishy. But she even staggers the samurai, which is pretty good. As you can see, yep, made a mistake there, but she still melts pretty fast. If you notice, there's one issue that she takes a while to remove shields. That's why I noticed she's pretty bad at removing Abyss Mage shields, as well as just any form of elemental shield that requires, you know, pyro. Herald, she's not that great compared to Bennett. Yeah, Electro Mages, not great. Electro Lawacho, not too great. It takes a long while to break those shields. So do note that when you play Yoimiya and if you deal with elemental shields. So other options you can run for her is you can run Shimenawa, which was my intended artifact for her initially. But when I think about it, the 15 energy is kind of might be a problem. And again, it doesn't solve what Thunder Fury solves. Thundering Fury solves, which is your E downtime. So you can go this, but do note your rotations for Yoimiya will be a bit more strict. You have to deal with the 8-second downtime, and you have to deal with the energy as well. Something I forgot to mention is that Yoimiya has I wouldn't say the best energy generation. She generates 5 energy throughout her E, but it requires you to continuously attack. So the 5th energy only comes out from the end, like right as her E ends. And that's a problem because this is assuming you don't dash while you're shooting. Like the enemies are just gonna let you hit for free. Assuming you don't have to change characters, and it is not instant, which is an issue. So you're most likely gonna get around 4 particles instead on Yoimiya, and yeah. So Shimenawa is a bit weird. Her team comp, Fischl's pretty much your only battery in this team, unless you run Bennett instead of Zhongli. So your Beidou will be mostly getting the energy as well because she wants to proc her out. You kind of really need Beidou to out for your Yoimiya to pop off. But another option you can run is Crimson Witch. Forgot to mention. Crimson Witch is pretty good on her. I do not have any Crimson Witch pieces because, you know, I don't like to farm Crimson. I don't think it's needed, to say the least. Or at least I just don't like the domain. I do have some pieces, but I think she's better off with 4 Thundering Fury. Crimson Witch should, in terms of DPS, I think she should have the highest result on with Crimson Witch. Either that or Shimenawa. You can go with a good old 2 Crimson Witch, 2 Gladiators. Can't go wrong with that. Or heck, you can go Shimenawa and 2 Glads. You can go Bolite even, if you have a Zhongli. Because she kinda, I feel like she's like Ganyu, where you kinda need a Zhongli for her to really work like safely. You know, Yoimiya can't play freeze. She can't have the fortune of playing freeze to not deal with getting hit while charging or like doing your attacks. So that is all the artifacts you can use on her. For her weapons, the best 4-star is definitely the Rust. You can use the Inazuma bow that you can craft. That is definitely one of her better choices, I think. If you can get it to Refine 5, I think it should be on par with Rust, if not better, because they both have attack percent sub. But it has an overall easier... it's a quite easy passive to reach your normal attack bonus, or just don't use your out. But if you can get a high refined Rust, which I am unfortunately not able to get to, that would be her best 4-star. The best 5-star is obviously the Thundering Pulse, but you can also use Amos Bow. Amos Bow If you don't know that it actually Amos bow actually does give normal attack bonus. Just confirm. Oh, I can check it, but yeah, it does give normal attack bonus. It won't be the max stacks, but it is her second best 5-star in my opinion. Either that or it'll be Skyward Hub. You know, most bowls should work on her, except Allergy. In terms of 5-stars, yep, Hamayumi should be her second best 4-star. If you don't really have the Hamayumi for some reason, I guess you can use stuff like Gold, you can use Viridescent Hunt. I don't think you should use Ellie Hunter, but yeah. Just use Russ, Hamayumi, Viridescent if you have Battle Pass, or Heck Windbloom. Other than that, I don't think there's much else to say. She's pretty solid. She has strengths are single target damage, quite a lot. She's ranged. Pyro. Well, she's not the best Pyro. She doesn't feel like a Pyro character, but she is, and she's very simple to play. In terms of doing your damage, if you have the characters to protect her, it's very simple to play. The teams are a bit awkward to play, but you'll get used to it eventually. Her weakness is that her AoE definitely, but it's made up by Beidou. Her health, you know, made up by either you gotta dodge or you gotta use Songli. That's all I can say. Fishiness definitely, if you get hit, yeah, you gotta cry. That's the same. And running this team, especially, you kinda lack energy because Beidou is 80 out. Fischl's your only battery. Yoimiya doesn't generate much energy by herself. So you might have situations where your Beidou is energy starved. But that's also probably because my Beidou is on 141 energy, which I don't think is quite hard to say that it's comfortable. Because you need to perfect parry most of the time, get your energy, get your ult up. So yeah, that's all for Yoimiya. Hope you guys know more about Yoimiya now and her place in the game. She is one of the, I wouldn't say best, but she's definitely she can definitely stand up for herself, especially in an environment where you don't have Xingqiu. And she's quite fun. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Good luck for you Yoimiya rollers, as I have gotten a Yoimiya as well, and see you guys next time.